You are so selfish. Ouch, that really hurts. If you've ever in your life been called selfish and it stung, it hurt, felt the pain, especially if it's come from someone that you're close to or someone that you love, then this video is for you, because I'm going to teach you how to stop giving a about whether someone thinks that you're selfish or not, because the simple fact that you even care and are affected by those words is already proof that you're not a selfish person. And aside from that, the person who has the nerve to call you selfish, are they living your life? Will they be there sitting in the chair right next to you in therapy, pouring you a cup of tea, since you're only there because your mental health has fallen apart because you tried so hard to not be selfish? No, the simple answer to that is no. You're gonna have to deal with all of these negative manifestations all by yourself, like you've been doing year after year. Notice how there are usually 3 underlying reasons why someone will resort to calling you selfish. The first underlying reason is usually because you're not living up to their expectations. They expect you to behave a certain way that suits them, and when you don't do that, the natural rebuttal is to call you selfish, because they know that it will do something to your heart, because in your heart you are not a selfish person. You can only affect someone who isn't selfish and isn't a narcissist by calling them these things. Second reason why people will resort to calling you selfish is because they see that you're prioritizing yourself and they can't take it. They can't handle it. And this is often a reflection comes from people who have resentment about never having prioritized themselves. So when they see you prioritizing yourself, it rubs them the wrong way. Like a mother who never took time for herself, and then when she sees that her daughters are prioritizing themselves, she gets resentful towards them. Or that best friend that decided to stay with her abusive boyfriend, and when she sees you leveling up, she feels a way about it. And the third underlying reason why people resort to calling you selfish is when they see that they cannot control you, because controlling you serves them. Notice how these 3 reasons all boil down to the fact that you are no longer serving someone else, and then they resort to calling you selfish. Remember that selfish is an external opinion that someone is trying to put onto you in order to get you to do what they desire for you to do. My name's Vanessa Samaina. I am a 6-time published author. I'm also the founder of Bow Life Switzerland, Pilates and Matcha Lover, and of course, your favorite coach on the internet. And today I'm going to teach you how to stop caring about when someone calls you selfish. Actually learn to start celebrating it and trying to get people to call you selfish as many times as possible, because you'll see how being selfish is actually the kindest thing that you can do for yourself and everybody around you. First scenario I want to talk to you about where people will resort to calling you selfish. Misjudgment number 1. Oh my God, you are so selfish. You think you're better than us. You don't make time for us anymore. You don't value your customers. Babe, no. I just chose to cut off any types of toxic relationship dynamics because there's no point in feeding into those, and I am devaluing you and I'm devaluing myself. When you choose to distance yourself from toxic dynamics, you will see, based on people's reactions, who they truly are. Remember, you're doing this from a place of wanting to make space for healthier connections. This is not personally attacking another person. And the way that they perceive you distancing yourself is not in your control, nor is it your problem. When you choose to focus on healthy relationships and cut off people who are draining, who are energy vampires, this is a radical act of self-love and self-acceptance. And not everyone is going to be a positive influence on your life. It is what it is. I'm most likely a toxic influence on someone on this planet. You are perhaps a toxic influence on another person. We all have different triggers and traumas of the past, and when you choose to remove yourself from people who constantly trigger you or constantly make these little backhanded comments, that is you showing that you have decided to set boundaries in your relationship, and that is worth celebrating. And after all, why would anyone who can tell that the relationship isn't healthy want to stay in that dynamic with you? Let's talk about misjudgment number 2. This is one of my personal favorites, and that's when you put your career aspirations before wanting to appease a man or having a relationship or thinking about starting a family. And people may have said to you, oh, you're only choosing your career. You're not even thinking about starting your own family. You're so selfish. You should be having children. Or if you already have kids or you're married and you have a partner, but you're extremely ambitious and that is a big focal point in your life, and people say to you, oh, you don't spend very much time time with your kids, or they say it behind your back and they say, oh, I wonder what her husband thinks. He's probably cheating on her. He's probably not happy at all, and her kids are probably suffering. Wow. WTF. Who does not want a mom that is driven and ambitious and that regardless of what happens with dad or partner is able to financially sustain herself and her kids and her life for the future? Who does not want to be around a woman who has other aspirations aside from just being what tradition has forced her to be? Who doesn't want to be around that source of inspiration? Prioritizing personal growth does not negate your care for others. It actually demonstrates commitment to a life of purpose outside of societal expectations. Newsflash, ladies, the only type of man who has an issue with a driven woman is the type of man who is not worth being pursued by, let alone settling down with or even starting a family with. You choosing your career ambitions over outdated societal standards are all signs of healthy personal ambition and development. It's not a sign of being egocentric. People say this to me all the time since I've stopped dating and I've gone on a journey of complete celibacy, self-discovery, and focusing on my work of helping others, and especially women, grow in their careers and in their personal lives. Have you ever thought of the fact that perhaps I'm actually far happier and more fulfilled being in my own serene, beautiful bubble, rather than having to pick up your undiagnosed son's dirty socks off of the floor every single morning, when I could be on my way to Pilates class, staying a snatch, drinking my matcha, and reserving my efforts and my emotional intelligence for those who value it and the right man. Judgment number 3. Oh my God, you're so selfish for not wanting to go out. How could you cancel these plans? Protecting your mental health and understanding when to gracefully bow out of any type of social situations is an act of self-care. It's not selfish. It actually shows that you know your own boundaries, you know your own needs, and you're choosing to honor and to respect those. The same goes for work. Any of my girlies and ladies who are in service-based businesses and your clients, the ones who don't respect you, you know, the ones who undervalue you, they expect you to be reachable 24/7. And if you're not there 24/7, if you're not able to accommodate them at every whim, they try to make it seem as though you're selfish, but they package it in a more diplomatic way of saying it. Let me tell you something. If you go to the Mercedes dealership and you buy a $100,000 car, all right, and your car breaks down a couple months later, what do? You call up the garage and you make an appointment. And if you're calling out of office hours, nobody's picking up. Your time for self-care is out of office hours. That is equal to out of office hours. People need to learn to respect that. And if they don't want to respect it, you have to enforce that boundary of not picking up the phone, literally making them respect it. Because if you call the dealership and it's out of office hours, you have to wait till next Monday if you're calling on Sunday morning. And you have no other choice. Even though you purchased an expensive car, that doesn't mean that you own Mercedes and the dealership. If any of you have an Apple laptop and you've ever had an issue with your MacBook or your iPhone, what happens when you call Apple support? If it's out of their office hours, you can do nothing but wait. You can't work, you can't answer your emails, you can't call anyone, even if you needed to and it was an emergency. They do not give a fuck. And they let you know that they don't give a f. What do you need to do? You wait. You wait until it's your turn. You wait until it's office hours. And it's even more important for any of you who are just starting a business or you have a small business to protect your boundaries even more. Let them call you selfish, because guess what? The people who actually value you and they understand the difference between price and value, they are never going to put you in this uncomfortable position, feeling like they want you to overstep your personal boundary to please them. And especially professionally speaking, I have hundreds of videos, thousands of hours of value that I have put onto the internet for free. And still, 2 days ago, for example, I had another person reach out on my business page, on my coaching page on Instagram, asking if they could meet with me in person to pick my brain and ask me questions, when they can see that I literally offer programs that thousands of people happily, willingly pay for because they understand the value of my time. They understand that I am a business owner, and the boundary of if you don't want to work with me, if you don't respect my rates, there is an ungodly amount of content, downloadables, and free resources that I have provided for you, but still there will always be people who try it, and it's important that you put them in their place. Because remember, the issue is this: takers don't know when to stop taking, and givers don't know when to say, I can't give anymore. But the difference here is that if you are a giver, you will be completely sucked dry by takers, and they will be feeling energized and full. They will have everything that they desired from you, and you will be left there with absolutely nothing, depleted and unhappy, which is why it's so important that you start to learn to be selfish. If you even feel the tiniest little hesitation of being quote unquote selfish, you know that you needed to see this video. You know that you have to practice this because you are one of those people who needs it the absolute most. Now, exhibit number 4. When people say you are so selfish because you don't want to be in a relationship that no longer serves you, trust me, when a woman leaves a man, especially if that woman has had kids with that man, if there are financial implications that will be challenging that are coming towards her, when she decides to leave that man, she did not just leave that man because he left his dirty laundry on the floor one day, or because he didn't do the dishes, or he didn't take out the trash, or he came home late from work one day. She did not just leave him because of that. This woman has probably been feeling unappreciated, ignored, has perhaps even endured mental or physical abuse to get to the point where she says, you know what, I'm done, I'm leaving. And for you to choose alignment over a million chances that aren't taken seriously by a partner anyways, that is top tier, high value woman behavior. Because staying in a relationship that no longer serves you is detrimental to you, your potential children's mental health if you're a mom, and what does it do for your partner anyways? And the difference between men and women, and I don't care what anyone says about this, we know it's true. The difference is that women come to a point where they can't take it anymore, and they have the courage, they have the ovaries to get up and leave. That's why more women statistically file for divorces than men do. What a lot of men will do because they don't like confrontation, and still it's comfortable to come home, have a wife, have kids, have a nice family house, because that elevates their social status, being married or being in a committed relationship. Often what they will do is they will mentally check out and they will cheat rather than initiate a divorce or initiate a breakup. And I'm not just saying this, I'm not just making this up, these are statistics. Just as a statistic that was done in New Zealand, a survey of 1,431 women across the country found that 79% of women admitted that they don't look after themselves, but they look after everyone around them first. 71% of those women consider that their to-do list is absolutely never ending, resulting in constant guilt and never being able to actually switch off, actually relax, and actually be quote unquote selfish. And I find it really funny how quick people are to call women especially selfish, when statistically speaking, over 3/4 of us cannot seem to catch a break, whether physically nor mentally, and we feel bad for even taking me time. Not quite sure a selfish person would even care, but I don't have an opinion on this, and even if I did, I would never voice it publicly, of course. My 5th and absolute favorite misjudgment of you being selfish is when you invest in yourself. You know, when you get that $9 matcha that just simply makes you happy because you got it after you just did your $45 Pilates class, you're getting your matcha, you're doing your 10K steps. Afterwards, you have a meeting with your coach, you bought this online course, you're gonna get yourself new trainers, you booked a solo trip, you're traveling, you've invested in high-end clothing pieces that can last you for years to come, you look effortlessly chic and luxurious, you take yourself out to nice restaurants, nice dinners, solo dates, you spend time with your loved ones, you're simply living your soft life. And then someone comes along and says, Isn't that a little much? Aren't you being self-indulgent? My question is, a little much for who? Because unless I'm asking you to pay for these things, I don't understand how it affects you. I don't understand how it's selfish because it has nothing to do with you. And self-care, self-love is the foundation of anyone who is going to be able to give back without resentment. The same goes for you investing in your dreams and belief of your own business, of your own success, building your business out in the way that you desire, getting the beautiful website, making sure that you learn as much as you possibly can, getting a beautiful agenda, pens, notebook for your office, beautiful artwork, plants, decor, investing in a great camera or microphone so you can finally start that YouTube channel or that podcast. I don't understand how that is selfish and why that triggers so many people when you actively put your money where your mouth is and you show that you believe in yourself. But the only type of person who that triggers is the person who cannot see past their own manifestations and the own reality that they have created for themselves. Because life is life. Life does not give a solitary about whether you succeed, I succeed, Nancy succeeds. Life does not care. But what life also does not care about, if you continue to behave as the most successful version of yourself who loves themselves, who puts themselves first, eventually you will also see those results, and you can only attract amazing people and amazing clients who value you when you value yourself. It's just as you can see here, for example, with my setup, the way that I film things, the attention I put into the details of everything that I do, whether it's my self-published tarot and oracle decks, whether it's my videos that I film, any service that I offer, coaching, mentorship, sponsorships that I take on, you see that a lot of self-care and self-love goes into the things that I do, because to me, that is also showing you respect. That is showing you that I care so much to put myself together at the highest level because I want to show up in a way that I can actually move and lead the next generation of ladies who work in health and wellness and who want to unify the fact that they have a spiritual side with traditional business and not always be seen as the woo-woo crazy person. You have to show up as that which you desire to be and that which you desire to achieve. That is the simple law of manifestation, a law of attraction. There's no way around it. Like attracts like. And if I want to attract people who actually value my services, I have to value myself and my services. I have to show this. I have to demonstrate this. And the more that you demonstrate that you care about yourself, the more you will actually repel people who don't value and respect you. And that's exactly where you want to get. So next time someone calls you selfish, simply smile and remember this video. Simply smile and remember the statistics that 79% of women feel literally guilty for taking time to themselves. But at the same time, they will be taking care of everyone else's needs and they will be putting everyone else before them. And the fact that you can actually be affected by these words shows that you care. It shows that you've got a heart. And it also tells us that now it's time for you to pour into yourself. This is your sign, this is your permission to do so. And I challenge you right now, before clicking out of this video, leave a comment below of the quote-unquote selfish thing you're going to go about and do right now. Whether it's going out and taking a walk in nature without your phone, turning your phone off for the next 30 minutes, maybe you're gonna go put on a face mask, maybe you're going to order yourself those running shoes you've been eyeing up, perhaps you're gonna go and get yourself a iced oat milk matcha latte, or you're finally going to book that Pilates class. I am empowering you to do so. I'm giving you permission to do so. Make me proud. Let me know below in the comment section how you take action, and that will also inspire every other person who reads this comment section. So my gorgeous soul, let's go and be selfish. Let's go about our day and enjoy being selfish AF. That's it from me for today. Enjoy being selfish. I love you. And don't forget to check out my latest video right here to help level up your life forever. Ich liebe euch und bis zum nächsten Mal. Bye guys.